Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about do's and don'ts when you are starting your business. As I was preparing for this video, I came up with a lot of do's and a lot of don'ts. There are a lot of things I have to say about what I advise and don't advise to do when you're starting a business, but for the purposes of this video, I will keep it to 4 do's and 4 don'ts when you are starting your business. And if you are new to this channel, my name is Kristina Safarova. I run FIRMSconsulting.com, strategytraining.com, and strategy training apps and other related companies. We have a number of companies we run as part of Firms Consulting, and I would love for you to subscribe to this channel. My goal is to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of December, so if you subscribe, you really will be helping me out. So let's dive in. The first do is make sure you start your email list as soon as possible. This is probably the most important thing you need to remember when you are starting a business in 2020. Email list is crucial. It is so important. It is one of the biggest mistakes we have made as we were building FIRMSconsulting.com, and it is especially upsetting for me because I knew that email list was important about 1 or 2 years before we actually implemented it. But there was always so much to do and so little time that it wasn't implemented until well into the life of the business. So I recommend as soon as humanly possible, before you even start your business, start building your email list. I have a video on that. I have a video on how to do it, so I'm not going to go into details in this video, but I will link in the description below to the video that is dedicated to building an email list. And if you have any additional questions, leave it in comments and I will make sure to add additional content on the questions that you guys may have. The first don't is don't quit your job until you are ready to quit your job. My recommendation is keep your job until you're making at least equivalent to what you're making from your job with your business, and you have about 3 to 4 months of savings equivalent to your monthly salary. So you have to have that as a minimum before you quit your job. Ideally, I would say wait until you have at least 7-8 months of savings and your business generates a little more than what your job generates. This is a very important point. And in fact, if you are currently not working and you're thinking about starting a business and you don't have savings, my recommendation is go and get a job and do a good job. Be an amazing employee, work your 9 to 5 and a little more than that, so you deliver a lot of value. And then use the rest of the time to start building your business. It is very, very risky, very, very hard to build the business without having any savings and without being ready to quit your job yet. You need to keep in mind that it takes years to build a business. Yes, some people do it in a year. Some people may be very successful within a year, but many people have to work for years before they can start generating meaningful results. So my recommendation is, if you have a job right now, keep your job and start working really hard and smart at nights, on weekends to build your business. And if you don't have a job and you want to start a business and you don't have enough savings, and by enough I mean at least 7 to 8 months, then get a job first. Start a business on the side. And then once you're ready, once you have 7 to 8 months of savings and your business generates at least as much as your job generates per month, then you can consider leaving your job. Now, if you have a job, make sure that you are allowed, according to the terms of your contract, to actually have a business on the side. You need to be careful here and comply with the rules, but this is something that you probably can renegotiate with your employer. You just have to pay attention to legal things. You have to make sure that you do not break any rules. The second do is very, very important, and that is you need to start a business in the area you really care about. This is something that you probably hear all the time. Do what you love and then the rest of your life will be just a wonderful journey. But it is true. It is so true. You have to find something you like at least. Find something that you really enjoy doing. Because building a business takes, as I said, years, and it is very, very hard. Many people think that it is as hard as working for someone else, but it's actually harder than working for someone else during the first few years, and then it becomes easier than working for someone else if you manage things right. So you need to pick something that you at least like doing, because during the first few years, if you want to be successful, you will have to work like you never worked before to make your business a sustainable enterprise. And I do have a video on how to pick your niche, where I go deeper into how to select something that you like, that you should focus on. Couple of things from that video was that you need to think about what would you pay somebody to do and what people come to you to get advice on. Try to get something that people recognize you as being an expert in, but also something that you love to do. So let me give you an example. Let's say that you have a talk, and maybe you were invited to go to your high school and give a talk to students, and you want to record it and put it on your website. So you reach out to videographers and you tell them about your project. Many of them, the first thing they will ask you is, what is your budget? Let's say you tell them your budget is $50,000 because you don't know anything about videography, because somebody told you, you get what you pay for. Make sure that you get good quality footage. It can set you apart from all your competition. So you say $50,000. What do you think people will tell you? Many people will tell you, in fact, probably most people will tell you. I never gave people budgets, ridiculous budgets like that. But most people will tell you something along these lines. $50,000 is a good budget. It allows us to have 3 videographers, and we can have an audio person, and we can have this producer, and this person will be editing your video. You know how much that job worth? How much it actually worth? You probably can get it done for $1,000. If you are willing to edit your own footage, you can probably get it done for $500. So when people start businesses, they start overpaying because they do not know what is a reasonable amount of money for a particular task, for a particular project. Let's give you another example. Let's say somebody wants to start a website. Let's say a former professor of strategy wants to start a website, and they don't know anything about e-commerce. They don't know anything about online business. So they write to a development agency and say, I would like to start a website. And they probably will ask him, what is your budget? And he will say, my budget is $15,000, because maybe he heard somewhere that that is what people paid for something similar. But what is the actual worth of that project, of the output that the development company will deliver? Well, we don't know what they're going to do. Of course, maybe they will hire the best developers on their team, and they're really going to invest sufficient amount of resources to justify $15,000. But what many development companies may do in a situation like that is they will firstly outsource it to someone on Upwork. They will pay them $200 for the entire project. That person will go, they will buy a team, WordPress team. They will then configure everything on a WordPress. You got your website. Our professor paid $15,000, and that is happening a lot with people who don't know what projects are worth and what is a reasonable amount to pay for a project like that. On this channel, I try to share with you guys that kind of knowledge so you can avoid mistakes like this. So you need to be extremely careful and smart and do your research. The way I manage it, firstly, it helps me to know what is a reasonable amount for specific things based on experience and just business judgment. But second, I always ask myself, what is a reasonable amount? And then I ask, how can I lower that amount? What can I offer to the person I'm working with that will lower the amount? because the less I spend on things, the more I can reinvest into the business, the more we can do for our members, for our clients. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. My goal is to have 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. So if you subscribe, you really will be helping me out. Let me know in the comments what kind of business you are building or what kind of business you are thinking about starting. And what is one thing that you're concerned about the most when starting your business? What is that one thing that you need help with the most? If you let me know in the comments, I will try to do a video on that. Stay focused, stay productive, do good things for the world, and I'm looking forward to see you next time.